I'm sick and tired of Western commentators referring to this as a regime. The Iranian Prime Minister was duly elected. You may not be happy with the democracy, but it's far better than, let's say, Saudi, where you can legitimately characterize it as a regime.
Far better than what, sorry?
Sorry?
Far better than what?
Saudi Arabia, or other countries I could mention, like in Zimbabwe when Mugabe was just. Those are genuine regimes.
So I'm a bit surprised at your assertion here, Koumar, because you're saying that the Iranian regime is a democracy.
Well, it's a democratic Rouhani. There are elections in Iran every few years. Rouhani replaced Ahmadinejad, as you remember. Now, you and I
think you're focusing you're sorry, Koumar. You're focusing on the wrong politicians there.
Why?
Because the real leader of Iran is the person called the supreme leader of Iran.
No, he's the supreme leader. There's a difference.
That's right. He's the supreme leader.
Yeah, so which
means he's the real leader. He's not the... No, yes, it does, Koumar. He's not elected, and in fact, General Qasem Soleimani was accountable only to him, as are the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Council that launched this missile... Hold on, Koumar. That launched this missile into the plane. Now, if I heard you correctly while you just basically inserted a few words in the middle of my words, is the Queen elected? Are you seriously trying to suggest to me that the theocratic regime of Iran is comparable to our monarchy?
No, of course not.
Then what was your point?
I think you have to put things in context.
I am putting things in context. I'm suggesting you're not.
Well, hear me out then, please. Give me a chance without interrupting me. If you look over the years, Iran, and the other country being possibly Malaysia, are probably the only two Islamic countries which have proper elections every few years.
You're not addressing the point I just made. Iran has a supreme leader who is unelected and is the real person in charge, and he never has been elected and never will be. How do you address that point?
The supreme leader is head of state.
No, but the head of state in Britain with the monarchy, which is the analogy you're about to give, doesn't mean the same thing. In Iran, the head of state actually has real power. Does the Queen have a Revolutionary Guards Council that has direct military control, not only over domestic affairs? Not only over domestic affairs, but also over foreign policy. Does the Queen have that command and control?
Well, who appointed when there was a hung parliament? Who decides which person to form a government? It's the Queen.
You just went from the past tense to the present tense. When there was a hung parliament, who decides? Because actually, and I suggest I know the reason why you did that, because when there was a hung parliament, the Queen didn't decide. She merely gave royal assent to what Parliament decided.
No, Parliament doesn't decide on which particular leader you're going to call to the palace and say, can you form a government? The Queen and her...
Koumar, are you honestly, in all good faith, trying to compare our Queen to the supreme leader of Iran, the Ayatollah?
I'm not at all trying to put things in perspective.
No, this is not perspective, Koumar. This is actually insanity, right? Focus on the specific point of substance, which is the supreme leader has actual command and control over the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which has domestic as well as foreign policy control of military strategy, right? The Queen doesn't have that, does she?
Majid, with all due respect, you're wrong. The Soleimani has more power than Ali Khamenei, arguably. And if you know the structure of Iran...
Koumar, Soleimani was appointed by Khamenei and was accountable to him.
Hang on. No, you're wrong. Again, your facts are wrong. Look at the history book.
Koumar, please don't provide red herrings. I'm not interested in the history right now. I'm asking you whether the supreme leader appoints the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Council.
No, he doesn't.
Who does?
That's not. He was appointed previously.
By whom, Koumar?
That I would have to check.
By the supreme leader?
No.
Yes.
No.
And who appointed the current one, who succeeded Soleimani? Do you know his name?
Well, I have no idea who appointed.
Ismail Ghani was appointed by Khamenei, the supreme leader.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
Well, why are you speaking if you haven't looked these things up?
I had, but I hadn't looked up the recent appointment because it's only a few days ago.
And for you to try and suggest that there's any comparison between, and look, I have even yesterday said I'm in principle a small R Republican, but I find it, even as a small R Republican, absolutely repugnant and offensive for you to come on radio and suggest that the theocrats in Tehran have any similarity with the English monarchy or the British monarchy. It is absurd. These people in Iran enforce gender apartheid. They hang gays from cranes. They lash or stone adulterers, murder ex-Muslims, hound feminists, kidnap entire families of activists, and all of that, by the way, on instruction from the people what they call guarding the revolution. Now, who's guarding the revolution? The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Council, headed by the supreme leader who has real power in Iran.
Can I ask you a simple question?
No, I want you to address that first. Do you not think it's offensive to compare our monarchy to a theocrat in Tehran?
I'm not going to address when you're ranting.
Okay, Kumar, thank you very much. If you're going to ask a question, we can speak to you again another time.